In today's experiment, we're going to create a wormery, which will allow you to study some of Charles Darwin's most interesting research. In the last few years of his life, Charles Darwin wrote this book, studying the impact of earthworms on the production of soil. It's one of the least appreciated, but arguably most important works of the life of this great naturalist. To create your wormery, you need a container, some soil, some leaves, and some worms. I bought these worms from a fishing shop. These are actually very lucky worms because they were going to end up on a fishing hook as bait for fish. But instead, they're going to end up in my wormery and eventually I'll release them. So they don't know how lucky they are. Although as you can see, they're trying to escape. Before you put your worms into your wormery, you can have a good look at how they move. It's pretty amazing how they use rhythmic movements along their body to propel themselves forward. These guys are surprisingly quick. Look, they're trying to escape. I'll put you back in there. To make your wormery, you need a see-through container, such as a jam jar or plastic bottle or container, such as this one. First, add in a good amount of soil. Fill it about 2/3 of the way. Let's put in that very carefully. Any old garden soil or potting compost will work fine. Make sure it's nice and moist for your worms so they're happy. Let's spread that out evenly in there. Then you can add your worms. I put these in a paper plate so it's quite easy to pour them. Here we go, worms, in you jump. There we go. The last few, come on you. You don't want to go in the wormery. I think you'd be happier in there than on a fishing line. There we go, last 2 worms, in they go. And then, last but not least, put in some dead leaves. This leaf litter is very important. You'll see the action that the worms have upon it. You'll notice that the soil and the leaf litter form 2 very distinctive layers because of the way that we've put it in. You can then either put on the lid or, to be honest, what's better is a piece of plastic with an elastic band. You can then punch a few holes in the top of the plastic. This will allow air exchange, and that's really important for the worms so they can breathe and live healthily. You then need to find somewhere to place your wormery. Make sure it's not in a place that would be exposed to extremes of temperature or really strong sunlight, because that can cause the wormery to overheat, and the poor little worms won't like that very much. A shady windowsill could work really well. Over the course of 2 weeks, observe the wormery really carefully. Do the worms move around, or do they stay in one place? And what happens to the leaf litter? I can already see many of my worms are really exploring their new home. Join me in 2 weeks' time and see what my worms have got up to. I hope you enjoy making your own wormery and observing your worms. Good luck and thank you for taking part.